Alright, it's WrestleMania weekend, and now it's time. It's time, baby. For preview and predictions. WrestleMania's tomorrow, and, well, it could be the next. Actually, it might be. It is the next day for quite a few people. But whatever, I shall give my opinion on what I think the next couple of matches, or how the matches will go down. The pre-show from what WWE has set out is Wade Barrett versus The Miz. Yeah, Barrett lost so much of his steam because you can just tell that WWE is not letting him, like, be as good as he possibly could be, and I don't know. I think the Barrett barrage is kind of done at this point. I see Miz going for the Intercontinental title. I do not like Miz as a face, because at least as a heel, I think he was more natural as a heel. He feels a little too forced as a face. But of course, not in WWE. That's exactly what they're gonna do. You know, so yeah, Miz, I see being the new Intercontinental Champion. Now on the matches that are actually on the card. I've also heard there's a leaving show, but I'm probably not going to cover that. A post show, if you will. Alright, so first match I'll talk about is Tons of Funk. That is Brodus Clay and Lord Tensei, and the Funkadactals, you know, they're backup dancers in Cameron and Naomi, versus Team Rhodes Scholars, Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes, and the Bella Twins, Brie and Nikki Bella, in an 8-person mixed tag team match. It sounds like an interesting idea, but it's like, I could see something with, like, I think Cameron or Naomi, because I saw a little bit of them, and it seems like there's something there you could cultivate, but this doesn't seem like a good showcase of any single person here's skills. And it seems more like just a way of displaying certain chemistries, which may or may not work well for a mixed tag match, you know, because obviously the Bella Twins can't do that well as a competitive unit against the freaking Brodus Clay or Lord Tensei, and Cameron and Naomi. If they're going to do anything with Cody and Damien, it's probably not going to be that good either. How's it going to go down? Team Rhodes Scholars was brought in very clearly just to be the job squad here. So I see Tons of Funk and the Funkadactals winning out overall. Yeah, they need to do something better with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was considered one of the best rising talents of the previous year, and Damien Sandow, in my opinion, was basically the best thing they had for a while. So they need to do something a lot better with them. And from what I've heard, Cameron and Naomi both had decent enough track records in NXT to, you know, kind of warrant them at least doing some stuff on their own in WWE instead of just being backups and, you know, backdrops to Brodus Clay. Alright, the next matchup is Chris Jericho versus Fandango. Yes, because I need my movie tickets. Why not add $2 to your why not add $2 to your bill? If you don't know, Fandango is actually Johnny Curtis, who won NXT Season 4, I believe. I remember when they were originally bringing him in, they were giving him rip-off Zack Ryder gimmicks, like Johnny Curtis cuts the mustard or whatever. But anyway, I haven't seen that much of Fandango, but he honestly doesn't impress me all that much. But then again, his opponent is Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is one of the best guys. Is one of the best guys who is one of the best at making someone look very good, even when they lose. Chris Jericho could win this match, but even if Fandango gets relatively close to winning, that could still be, you know, a great deal, because Jericho is a frickin' main eventer, you know, and for a guy who's basically a rookie to get even remotely close to the level of a Chris Jericho is going to be a huge boost to Fandango's career. Alright, what match do I think is going to be after that? Probably Team Hell No. Well, this is how I would structure it. After that, Team Hell No of Kane and Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston for the WWE Tag Team Championships of the World. How do I expect this to go down? I'm hoping what happens is that Kane and Daniel Bryan, after all the shit's been going down, eventually Kane, one of them walks out on the other one, leaving the other to be savagely mauled by Big E and Dolph Ziggler, who become the new tag team champions. but more likely than not, Dolph Ziggler is going to job to Kane or Daniel Bryan again. No. I actually thought that last two main events were going to be the parts where Dolph Ziggler was going to cash in the Money in the Bank. I'm thinking they have no idea when they're going to do it, and are just stalling until they have to do it. And of course it's just leading to a disorganized feeling of just like, why don't they do it? It's not a case of, oh my god, they're going to do it. It's like, they'd better do it today, or, you're just wasting our time. Alright, next match that I don't give that many shits about. Ryback versus Mark Henry. Yeah. Big guy versus big guy. I'm hoping for a Scott Steiner versus Goldberg sort of match where they were really hard hitting. The pace wasn't that fast, but it didn't need to be because you could feel every single hit. But I don't think they'll do that because that's never been Mark Henry or Ryback's strength. Ryback's strength is more as a spectacle of just sheer power and as a spectacle of, of dominance. I don't think that'll work well for Mark Henry, at least not in this stage of his career. But I'm pretty sure Ryback's going to win. I just don't know how he's going to get him up. Like, how is Ryback going to hit freaking Mark Henry with shell shock? He couldn't even hit it on Paul Heyman. I'm seeing it ending with a meat hook clothesline. But that's how it's going to go. Next matchup that I have listed here. Well, I don't have these in a list. Well, I do have these in a list. I'm just making up the order as I go. Next matchup, Sheamus, Randy Orton, Big Show, and the Shield of Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. I've said before that at the last pay-per-view, like, they made the Shield stars because of who they beat and because of how damn good their matches are. And it seems like they've been spinning their wheels at this point because they just don't know quite what to do with them. A big problem I've noticed in WWE is that they have all these good bad guys and they just don't know how to really work them that well. They don't know who to turn into a good guy because, they just don't know who will work as a good guy. They turned Miz into a good guy. It was a terrible idea. How do I see this going? I don't know. I kind of lost investment in this because Ryback's not here. Ryback should be the one facing Shield. After all, it's his burden. Who the fuck was the Shield messing with first? Ryback. But now it's Sheamus and Randy Orton's problem. Why? They were jumped a few times, but they never lost anything quite to the scale of Ryback. But what I think is going to happen, Randy Orton's going to turn heel because they have done nothing with Randy Orton for a while. Admittedly, I got sick of Randy Orton a while ago, but at least I think they should be doing more with him than this. I thought they were just going to put him lower to the card and have guys, start building up guys. Because I could actually buy Randy Orton as, like, that lower top card, upper mid card guy who can bring people up. Although that is not really his best skill. So I'm seeing Randy Orton, like, turning heel. And I don't think he's going to join the Shield, but I think he's just going to let the Shield do whatever they want to Sheamus and Big Show, and so that Shield can win again. I'm hoping that after WrestleMania, each of the members of the Shield are going to go after titles, because that's what would make their organization really, really big at this point. Alright, the next match up is Brock Lesnar versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels. Wow, man, it's like I said. Remember what I said at my SummerSlam review of last year? How when I was how after Triple H lost to Brock Lesnar, I kind of started chanting at my computer screen, "Just retire, just retire." Hopefully, I'll get my wish because in a no holds barred match, Brock Lesnar will face Triple H. I think I already said that. But, yeah, how is this match going to go down? I see Triple H winning. Well, actually, Brock, I know, signed a 2-year extension on his contract. So this could be a good catalyst to get him to do some more work. I don't see him going after the titles. I just see him trolling people. But this could be really interesting. Yeah, I'm actually not really sure. It seems like a very Triple H thing to do, and considering he's already lost before, it makes sense that he would win here, which is logic I will most certainly bring to the main event of this show. But yeah, it's a little bit iffy. So who do I think will win? Brock Lesnar, and even then it's kind of iffy. After that, Alberto Del Rio with Ricardo Rodriguez versus Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter for the WWE Championship. Or for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sorry. How do I expect this to go down? Well, Swagger got busted frickin' speeding with while he was high on weed, so I'm not exactly sure whether they would already put him as the champion. Del Rio, I don't really think he's been like a flop as a champion, but I haven't heard him breaking waves or anything. With all the momentum Swagger's got, I think it kind of makes sense to make him champion, but at the same time, not. It kind of works because usually with the good guy not being the champion, you can have him have something to chase so that Del Rio can lose the title, but then win it back at a place like, say, SummerSlam. And that would actually work because SummerSlam is always in Los Angeles, which has a very large Hispanic population. So it would kind of work the idea of, like, someone chasing it and then in a place where he's, you know, where the crowd may be a little more warm towards many of his ideals, he will actually, you know, get back what he originally had. So I'm actually seeing Jack Swagger winning it here. Whether or not Dolph Ziggler is gonna cash in, I have no idea. All right, next matchup after that, well, the final two, if you will, Undertaker versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman. Now I have to address the CM Punk Paul Bearer storyline usage. Paul Bearer, from what I've seen, like, I remember the first night I saw them doing what they did with the memory of Paul Bearer, I was fucking pissed off. And it wasn't pissed off in a way towards CM Punk, it was pissed off at WWE because I knew what they were trying to do. But then I kind of thought to myself, wait, Paul Bearer was a very dedicated guy in the wrestling industry. And then I started looking at a bunch of interviews with him, and then there was one that caught my eye. It was an interview where he talked about the night Owen Hart died. The night Owen Hart died, like, he pointed out that him, Undertaker, and Stone Cold didn't bat an eye at the idea of finishing the show, and he said Owen would have wanted it to go on that way. And when I hear that, I'm like, would Paul have also wanted it to go on this way? Would he have also wanted to be part of the show, to know that even when he can't possibly physically be there, he's still an important entity in a WWE storyline? You know, go as disrespectful as they can, you know, talk about how disrespectful things are, but is it innate of something bigger, and would Paul have approved of that, knowing that it would make a bigger star of CM Punk? And probably Undertaker, too. But, yeah, that's sort of the internal question. But my problem is with the Paul Bearer thing isn't even that. It's why Punk? You know, maybe it's just his positioning, but the thing is, fans don't want to hate Punk. In fact, I think Punk's actually been getting a lot of praise because they know that this is a WWE storyline and they can tell he's trying his hardest to make this work. And because of this, fans are actually gaining more respect for him. Similar thing with Paul Heyman and The Undertaker, who are all, you know, you can tell they're trying their best with it. But WWE is trying their best for people to hate CM Punk when people have been starting to like CM Punk for years. And people have been trying to cheer him for God knows how long. He's actually a pretty bad guy because nobody wants to boo him. They actually want to cheer him. If I'm not mistaken, he's actually the #1 merchandise seller right now, even above John Cena. You know. But anyway, on to the actual match. How do I see this go down? I've heard a lot of people say that they absolutely do believe CM Punk will win this. I would actually say it's a bit of a bad investment. With something like the streak, you're going to get a lot of fucking heat for ending it. So if Undertaker's not going to retire undefeated at WrestleMania. Have it be a young guy who has a ton of potential, and, you could get fucking 10 years of heat off this shit, But how do I see this going down? I see Undertaker winning, because from what I understand, CM Punk wants to take time off after WrestleMania. And if you beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, that's not something you can take time off of. That would be CM Punk's opportunity to start talking shit for the next 2 fucking years. However long time he gets, he can always bring that up. So, I don't really see that. From what I've heard, CM Punk is apparently, for almost these past 2 years, he's been working basically John Cena's schedule, and so he wants to have a break, and that's reasonable. I think we've had a decent enough time with Punk. But streak being broken? No, I see Undertaker winning. I am really hoping Undertaker can cement CM Punk as a strong main eventer, because the problem WWE has been having for these past 2 years is saying CM Punk is a main eventer without actually making him a main eventer. They gave him the title for 434 days, and they made him feel like a second-class citizen to John Cena, who was always in the motherfucking main event. Anyway, on to the final match, the match that will most likely be the main event, Rock versus Cena 2. Twice in a lifetime for the WWE Championship. I could give 2 fucks. Yeah, I just don't care. But obviously, this is kind of an obvious WWE logic thing. I see Cena, tying up Rock 1-1 and then winning the championship back, proving to WWE and no one else that John Cena is the voice of the generation, if you will. So yeah, that's how WrestleMania 29 seems to be panning out. Show. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. Show. That's what it seems like it's gonna be. What's probably gonna be the best match? Well, what's gonna get the most time? Probably Brock Lesnar versus Triple H, because if Triple H is in a match, it's most certainly gonna get a shitload of time. He's probably gonna get absurd entrances. I actually think Triple H should have just a normal entrance, just to kind of go with the sort of fight feel that Lesnar also has. Probably the best match? The Shield puts on amazing matches every time they get out there, but with no real, heavy stipulations this time, it's hard to tell whether they would be able to work that as well as they usually do. Undertaker is one of the best workers, and now that he has so much time off, he really doesn't mind doing crazy, crazy shit because, he has plenty of time to recover anyway. Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler being with the chemistry for their tag match could be a pretty good one too, and Fandango could surprise the hell out of me. So even though there are a lot of good matches here, there are a lot of good match potential here. There's a lot of good match potential here. But, it's hard to say, how much time will WWE give to this? How will this be presented? One of the worst things I've seen in a lot of CM Punk matches is really forced storyline, and how much they shove Paul Bearer into that match could be just unbearable. I remember rewatching the Chicago Street Fight between him and Chris Jericho, and the worst part about that match was Jericho forcing the storyline into CM Punk's match, and it was just nah, it needs to be more natural than that. But still, I'm at least interested to see what's going to happen. What do you guys think is going to go down at WrestleMania 29? Leave comments below, video response if you want, and like this if you want. Anyway, this has been Carlito NSP. This has been CN Sanders P. You did not hear that previous name. And, let's see how accurate I am come WrestleMania 29. See you guys then.